Hi dears, welcome back to the channel. Today we are discussing immunology questions. We have 10 questions in this video. Let's begin. First question. All of the following are true of antigen except which one of the following? Options A. They contain epitope. B. They will react with the antibodies. C. They contain antigenic determinants. D. They can elicit an immune response. E. They contain paratopes. So, the given are true about antigen except one. And the answer is option E. They contain paratope. So, go into next question. Second question is about haptens. We have to select the correct option related to hapten. Okay, let's check the options. Option A. It requires carrier molecule to be immunogenic. B. React with the specific antibodies when homologous carriers are not employed. C. Interact with the specific antibody even if the hapten is monovalent. D. Cannot stimulate secondary antibody responses without carriers. E. All of the above. So, we have to select the correct option which characteristics hapten. Okay. Here, the answer is option E, all of the above. So, haptens require carrier molecule to be immunogenic and it reacts with specific antibodies when homologous carriers are not employed, and it interacts with a specific antibody even if the hapten is monovalent, and it cannot stimulate secondary antibody responses without carriers. Okay. Third question, an immunogenic adjuvant is a substance that options are A. Reduces the toxicity of the immunogen. B. Enhances the immunogenicity of haptens. C. Enhances hematopoiesis. D. Enhances the immune response against the immunogen. E. Enhances immunogenic cross-reactivity. So, here the answer is option D. An immunogenic adjuvant is a substance that enhances the immune response against the immunogen. So, the answer is option D. Fourth question, the class-specific antigenic determinants, that is epitopes, of immunoglobulins are associated with options A. L chains, B. J chains, C. Disulfide bonds, D. H chains, E. Variable regions. So, the class-specific antigenic determinants, that is the epitope of immunoglobulins are associated with options A. L chain, B. J chain, C. Disulfide bond, D. H chain, E. Variable regions. Here the answer is option D. H chains. H chain, the epitope of immunoglobulins are associated with H chains. Next question. Fifth question. Primary interactions between antigens and antibodies involve all of the following except primary interactions between antigens and antibodies involve all of the following except. Options are A. Covalent bonds, B. Van der Waals forces, C. Hydrophobic forces, D. Electrostatic forces, E. A very close fit between an epitope and the antibody. So, primary interaction between antigen and antibody involve all of the following except what? Options are A. Covalent bond, B. Van der Waals, C. Hydrophobic, D. Electrostatic force, E. A very close fit between an epitope and the antibody. Here the answer is option A. Covalent bond. Sixth question. The first immunoglobulin synthesized by the fetus is options A. IgA, B. IgE, C. IgG, D. IgM, E. None. The fetus does not synthesize immunoglobulins. So, the question is the first immunoglobulin synthesized by the fetus, and the answer is option D. IgM. IgM is the first immunoglobulin synthesized by the fetus. Question number 7. The following properties of human IgG are true except options are A. It can pass through the placenta. B. It can be cleaved by pepsin and yet remain divalent. C. Its half-life is approximately 23 days. D. It induces the formation of leukocytes. E. It participates in the activation of complement. F. it has the longest half-life of all Ig isotope. So the given question is about IgG antibody, and in the given statement, one is incorrect, all others are true. And the incorrect statement is option D. It induces the formation of leukocytes. That is incorrect. All others are true except option D. Eighth question. The relative level of specific IgM antibodies can be of diagnostic significance because IgM is easier to detect than the other isotypes. B. Viral infection often results in very high IgM responses. C. IgM antibodies are more often protective against reinfections than are the other isotypes. D. Relatively high levels of IgM often correlate with a first recent exposure to the inducing agent. The question is about IgM antibodies. The relative level of specific IgM antibodies. It can be of diagnostic significance. It is because the given options are A. IgM is easier to detect than the other isotype. B. Viral infection often results in very high IgM responses. C. IgM antibodies are more often protective against reinfections than are the other isotypes. D. Relatively high level of IgM often correlates with a first recent exposure to the inducing agent. So, here the answer is option D. Relatively high levels of IgM often correlate with a first recent exposure to the inducing agent. That's why IgM antibodies is of diagnostic significance. Ninth question. The immunoglobulin joining chain, that is the J chain, is A. Only produced by T cells, B. Only produced by neutrophils, C. Associated with only multimeric forms of IgM and IgA, D. Associated with IgE for histamine release, E. Only produced by mast cells. So the answer is option C. Associated with only multimeric forms of IgM and IgA. 10th question. All of the following are true with respect to IgE molecule except which one? Options A. They are the principal immunoglobulin class involved in allergic reactions. B. They are involved in mediating anti-parasitic immune responses. C. They will cross the placenta and fix complement. D. They can affect the release of histamine and other chemical mediators. E. They are the least abundant immunoglobulin in the serum. So the question is, all of the following are true with respect to IgE molecule except which one? The answer is option C. They will cross the placenta and fix complement. And this statement is regarding IgG antibody. So the answer is option C. So today we are discussing these 10 questions, and in the next video we will be discussing more questions. Thank you all.